Welcome to Mystical and Practical, the podcast that demystifies the soul's journey, the spirit world, and spiritual practices. I'm Meli Guidance, a past life psychic, certified Akashic Records reader, and channeling coach. Here, we talk about spirit guides, the Akashic Records, reincarnation, and everything that connects the seen to the unseen, all with both feet firmly on the ground. Ready to decode the spirit world and connect with your inner magic? Let's jump right in. Hey, welcome to this special Halloween episode. Today we're diving into the mysterious celebration, one that goes far deeper than candy and plastic costumes, and that's Halloween. It's a holiday woven with centuries of traditions, symbols, and rituals, and yes, there's a little bit of theater too. So let's start with the basics. Where does Halloween come from? It's actually a direct descendant of Samhain. That's a Celtic festival that dates back over 2,000 years ago. And Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the dark half of the year, which is winter. And it was a sacred time when days grew shorter, light faded away, and communities gathered around great bonfires. People wore masks, left food offerings, and believed that the spirits of their ancestors would visit the living during this in between period. Now, later, when Christianity spread, Samhain was reshaped into All Saints' Day and the Day of the Dead, depending where you're living. But despite this transformation, the pagan roots never truly disappeared. And I'll talk more about Samhain in bonus episode number 2 of Halloween this year, so check that out. But for now, remember this, even today, Halloween still carries that double nature. It is both a celebration of joy, play, and costumes, and also a moment of remembrance and reverence for what came before us. And speaking of traditions that stood the test of time, when we think of Halloween today, we immediately picture pumpkins. But that wasn't always the case. Originally, people used turnips. Yes, really. In Ireland and Scotland, people would hollow out turnips and carve grotesque faces into them to scare away wandering spirits. Now, when immigrants arrived to America, they discovered the pumpkin, which was larger and brighter and way easier to carve. And that's how the pumpkin became the undisputed symbol of Halloween in North America. But beyond decoration, each lantern, like jack-o'-lantern, holds a dual meaning. It says, "Stay away, unwanted spirit," while whispering, "Come closer, I'm ready to meet you in the dark." And that's the real magic of Halloween. It's bringing light into the shadows, transforming fear into ritual. And since we're talking about Halloween archetype, we cannot skip the most iconic one, which is the witch. You know the image we all have of the witch with the pointy hat and the cauldron mostly comes from fairy tales and movies. But in truth, the quote-unquote witches of old were women, and sometimes men, who held deep knowledge of plants, lunar cycles, of course, because of menstruations, and healing. But over time, respect gave way to fear, and they were accused of making pacts with the devil. They were persecuted, tried, and burned, or drowned, or many other things. And the witch became the symbol of female independence, something society found too dangerous to control. And that fear gave rise to the witch hunts. For many of us, this has even left what we call a witch wound. That is a karmic echo that still makes us afraid in this life to reveal our gifts, intuition, our mediumistic abilities for fear of judgment or persecution. And if that topic speaks to you, I have a full video about this on my YouTube channel. But today, the witch has been reclaimed. She now embodies personal power, connection to nature, intuition, and the courage to go against the current. And that is why Halloween is so tied to her. It celebrates the rebel within all of us. The right to wear black, the right to speak boldly and not to fear the unknown. And of course, where there are witches, there are black cats. So, why do they still carry a reputation for bad luck? Well, in the Middle Ages, some saw them as protectors of the home, while others believed they were companions or even incarnations of witches. Their dark coats and ability to slip unseen into shadows made them mysterious and unsettling. As a result, even today, the black cat is linked to superstition. But if we look deeper, the black cat is really a bridge to the unseen. Its glowing eyes in the dark remind us that not everything is visible to the naked eye, and that silence and observation often reveal more than noise could ever. So, if you cross paths with a black cat on Halloween night, instead of shivering, you might take it as a sign of protection, a gentle reminder that the invisible always walks beside you. Now, if we step away from the home and we venture into the forest, we meet, another classic Halloween creature, which is the werewolf. These legends were born in Europe in villages surrounded by, you guessed it, dark woods where real wolves roamed. And stories told of humans who, under certain conditions, could transform into uncontrollable beasts. These tales were warnings, reminders that beneath our civilized surface, the animal instinct still lurks close. And that's what still unsettles us today. The idea that deep down, there's a wild creature within us waiting to howl at the moon. So on Halloween, the werewolf isn't just a monster, it's the embodiment of our untamed side, the primal force we try to master but can never completely silence. And when night falls, what feels more natural than telling ghost stories? Now, this tradition also goes back to Samhain, when people believe spirits wander the fields after the last harvest. Stories told around the fire honored these presents and helped people make peace with their fear. Later, in Victorian times, people would gather by candlelight to read tales of hauntings. Today, our horror movies and scary story nights are simply modern versions of those ancient ways. But ghost stories aren't only there to frighten us, they help us talk about death without having to experience it firsthand. And they remind us that shadows are always near and that the memory of the dead continues to echo in our stories. And of course, one of Halloween's greatest joys is dressing up. At first, costumes were a trick to confuse wandering spirits, meaning if you looked like them, they had no reason to bother you. But over time, it became a playful tradition and a festive one like we have today. But the root remains the same for one night. You can become something or someone else. And that's what makes Halloween so special. The costume becomes permission. It's a moment of freedom. You can embody a hero, a creature, or a magnified version of yourself, or in my case, sometimes even a salsa chip. So, for many people, it's even therapeutic. It's stepping out of daily roles and exploring hidden identities, daring to be seen differently. In the end, the mask isn't just a game, it's an initiation. And if Halloween feels so powerful, it is because it is deeply tied to death. The whole autumn season stages the end of a cycle. Trees shed their leaves, fields are being empty, and light fades. All around us, nature reminds us that life isn't eternal, but that's not morbid. It's quite the opposite. The skeletons, the skulls we see everywhere, they do not glorify fear. They whisper, remember, life is precious. And that's precisely because it's fleeting. By facing death, we remember to live more fully, to savor our meals, laugh with loved ones, and love more freely. So now you might wonder, okay, what's the real true meaning of Halloween? Well, it's not a celebration of fear, it's a celebration of awareness. It's a time to look at death without superstition, to laugh with the living while remembering the departed, to dance with the dark so we can better love the light. It's like a dress rehearsal for life itself. It's acknowledging endings, welcoming beginnings, and remembering that every moment counts. So, next time you light a candle inside a pumpkin or a turnip, or put on a mask, remember you are not just joining a commercial holiday like we have today. You are continuing an ancient ritual that connects the living and the dead, light and the shadow, fear and joy. That was my journey through Halloween and my very quick and brief journey through this. I hope it gave you a new perspective on this celebration or maybe reminded you of things you already knew, because beyond the candy, Halloween is an invitation to live with more awareness, more intensity, and yes, more tenderness as well. So, with that, I wish you a very magical Halloween. Enjoy the mystery, the beauty, and the unique energy of this night. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to the Mystical and Practical podcast with Meli Guidance. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and leave some stars, a thumbs up, or a comment. It truly helps to share the podcast with other old souls seeking a deeper understanding of the spirit world. If you're interested in getting an Akashic Records reading, a tarot reading, or joining one of my online courses, you will find all the details at meliguidance.com. This podcast was edited by plcm.ca and the original music was composed by record.bandcamp.com. Until next time, remember, we are all souls having a human experience and we can all be mystical and practical.